All right, so let's get started. Okay, so first context. There are 8 teams, 2 teams through open qualifiers, that would be Eterna and Serens, and 3 teams through LEC invite, basically, with G2, SK and Vitality, and then 3 teams through EC, that's Galleons, Nexus Reapers, and Solary. So we saw like 2 tournaments, 2 WNB tournaments recently, where we saw them face off against each other, and the first one is EC, which G2 here won, and I'm just gonna put the cat in the bag and just say, yeah, G2 is like definitely winning for sure. They are just the by far strongest team, and there's not much that other teams can do against them, especially if you look at the format. Like the format, if you want a more breakdown, watch my video. Haha. But yeah, it's best of 1 in groups. So single round robin, best of 1 in groups. We have 2 groups of 4. Wait, let me just pull up the sheet as well for you. So we have 2 groups. We have Group A and Group B. It's single round robin, best of 1. So every team in Group A will face off against every other team in Group A once in a best of 1, and every team in Group B will face off against their teams in Group B in a best of 1. Why am I always saying single elimination? Whatever. In a best of 1. So there's gonna be a total of 12 games played over the group stage, 3 games for every team, which is kind of sad. Actually, I think I said this before. I think the format for this group stage is horrific. If you also look at the schedule, which okay, I won't right now, but if you look at the schedule, it's like there are 2 best of 1s on Saturday and 2 best of 1s on Sunday for 3 weeks. Like why? Why don't we have 2 best of 3s? I don't get it. Why is the best of 3? That's like, there's no reason for it. The only reason to do best of 1s instead of best of 3s is if you wanna lower production costs. But they don't have any production, no? Like, they outsourced their streams, and in the beginning there wasn't even the stream, by the way. There wasn't even a cast in the beginning until POG jumped in. So yeah, they outsourced they outsourced the casting, they outsourced the streaming, the co-streaming. So basically, it's I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of this group stage format because it's so volatile, right? You have best of 1s, like one bad weekend can lose you the whole tournament, and it's Also, like EC had this very short group format where you had 5 game days with banger on bang, like with games, bam, and now LGC Rising has less games over more time. You have 12 games over 3 weeks, which means 4 games a week, and one game per team a week, which is like really weird, actually. So that took the format. I really hate it. Now, as I said, for G2, they dropped overall 2 games in the EC. 1 game against Vitality where they didn't even know if Shina was gonna play or not. And I talked to some of the G2 players, and they said, we dropped the game because like it was super chaotic for us. We didn't know which jungle we're gonna play with. The preparation was super scuffed, and I believe that to be true. So I'm gonna give them like the benefit of the doubt to say, BO1s are also gonna be free for them. And BO5s, they are the only team that ever played a BO5 in a competition before with the Spanish league they played in. So I think in BO5s they're also gonna be super hard to beat. They have the most practice, they have the deepest champion pools. Like I don't know. I see no way that G2 doesn't win this tournament. I think that Galleons will drop out in groups. They are a good team, and in a best of format I could see them do more damage, but I think that Galleons is super predictable in their playstyle. And if they haven't changed much from what they showed in Equal Esports Cup, then I don't know if it's gonna be enough, honestly. I think they really lack in proactivity, they really lack in converting their leads. And we saw it in the second half of groups or Equal Esports Cup, where they started off with a, what was it, 6-0 scoreline or 5-1 scoreline. Like they won against Supernova Comets, they won against Solari Academy, they won again, no, they tied against Nexus Reapers, right? And then they just lost against opponents they shouldn't lose to, like Last Minute Airlines, like the team that bombed out last in the group, lost 2-0 to them. Then they lost 2-0 to SK Varosa, the other team that looked super shaky during Equal Esports Cups. And then they won the tiebreak against Supernova Comets. Like, I don't know. I don't know. If they haven't, like, we haven't seen them play for a while now, so maybe they put in the work and they really stepped up. But from what I've seen, I think they will drop out in groups. So yeah, especially because they are in a group with Serens, who I think is definitely gonna be in a tier, in the what is the BO series tier. They are a super strong best of one team. We saw it in the Lafayette tournament, where they went 6-0 in the BO's best of ones, beating Vitality, and then against Vitality in the best of 3 series, they lost. And they also had rough time in the open qualifiers, in the LGC open qualifiers in best ofs. So I think they will just go through the group stage. They also showed pretty nice games against G2, if I remember correctly. They played really well against G2 in the group stage, but they don't have the firepower in best of series. That's also why they lost against Galleons, right? In the qualification match. And the last team here is Nexus Reapers. Nexus Reapers now have Amarin on their team instead of Wolfie, because Wolfie has some medical issues and can't really play League right now, which is really sad. They won against Serens, which I said before, I think Serens is not the best in best of series, and then lost to Vitality, where they had the significant disadvantage with having to play with 2 substitutes, losing 2 bans, and side selection for every game. So this was kind of to be expected. But I think that's not enough to be a run-up. I think they go into what is a BO series tier. I think that the rest of the teams are just better. Group A sorted out. Now let's look into Group B. So, Group B. We have Solari, the runner-up of the EC, Eterna coming through lower LGC, SK Varosa with some adjustments to the roster, and Vitality Rising Beast, who almost made it to the finals, but lost in the semifinals to Solari. I'm gonna go on a limb here and predict SK to drop out in groups. I'm sorry for SK. I believe in trust supremacy, but not today. I have not. From what I've heard, their scrims are really rough. I think the vibes on the teams are good from what I've seen. Seem to be decent at least. I don't really see the improvement. I think the issues they have don't only, it goes wider than just jungle. I think they carry a lot of baggage, with them from the Div 3 split, from the Div 4 split, from the playoffs, from EC, and all this just doesn't get swept away with a jungle change. I think there's a lot more that needs to be solved for the team. Maybe they did solve it, like they are in bootcamp right now and they're probably working hard. And I hope, like I like the players on the team, so I hope that they can fix their shit. But I really don't see them making it out of groups, especially with the competition then. We have 3 teams left. Let's go with Solari. I'm gonna put Solari into run-ups tier. They showed in EC what their level is, what the level they can perform to. They even won against Vitality with a substitute in top lane. and with losing a ban and side selection for every game. Like, that's massive. That's some massive debuffs. I think they can definitely make it to finals again. In the beginning of EC, yeah, if you remember the tier list that we made before EC started with Diana and shit and on her stream, I said I'm not sure about the Solaris level because I haven't seen them play, because they have players that are very flippy, and at times they can lose you games. That kind of got put by people in a way where they were like, oh, you hate Solari, oh my god, what the fuck, how can you hate Solari? They are like, I'm like, bro, I just said I don't know the level of Solari, okay? Despite the beliefs of some people, I don't hate any of the teams, alright? I think Solari leveled up a lot. They showed a lot of growth during EC, and before EC they showed that they can be a good best of one team and a good best of team. And in BO5s, like, big props to Clef, because she leveled up like fuck. Definitely the second best AD carry right now, stealing the show from Miela. Like, everyone was like, yeah, Miela's gonna be this, or it's gonna be the battle between Keltas and Miela for the best AD carry. And then Clef was like, nah, make it about me, and just shows up big. Like, she has insane performances. Thorn also in the jungle, really stepping up with her carry playstyle, leading the team forward. I think they are a really good team. They have had a strong showing, and I believe that they can make it to the finals. If this is enough to win against G2, I don't think so, but yeah. Now we have Eterna, and I'm gonna put Eterna as well into runners. So Eterna is the team that went through open qualifiers. They made it out of the group stage undefeated, or out of the Swiss stage undefeated, and then only dropped a game in the finals to Serrans. I think this team is, just from a mechanical perspective, this team is insane. We have Starry in top lane, who's like, they have two American players, two NA players, Sashi mid, C AD carry, and Delicate jungle. This team individually is insane. The ceiling of those players is crazy. Sashi, probably contestant for the best mid laner. There was this one game in open qualifiers where, I think it was against Serrans, where they almost lost, but Sashi was like, nah, I'd win. Dragged them through over the finishing line. Like, it's crazy what she can do on the right champ, in the right position. C as well is like, just shows, yeah, well, you all complain about AD carry being shit roll, I'm gonna show you otherwise, and just completely demolished the competition on AD carry. Her Yunara was insane. Her mechanics in teamfights is just so good, and together with Virtuosa, who's currently, I think, Grandmaster in NA, is mechanically super strong. They are not to be tangled with. This team has shown dominance, and I think they will continue doing that. Like, I really think that even with high ping from NA, this team is just mechanically better than most other teams here. And now they even got more time to practice, and I really think they can be a threat. And I would love to see them in finals, actually. I would love to see them in finals, and I would love to see the NA players on EU soil playing with no delay against G2. Like, this would be crazy. It would be a crazy story, it would be a crazy final. And now the last team is Vitality. So I think Vitality is a really hard team to rate. I think that they leveled up a lot during EC. I said it before, I think Yoshia is probably the best player that is the best on this team, and that showed the most growth from last year. What was the game where she played Nafiri and just completely piss-stomped everyone? Like, it's crazy. Nenris and Bloom, I think their laning was kind of weak, but they did improve. In groups, they kind of got to be too killed sometimes. They lost some lanes they shouldn't have lost, and they for sure improved on that. The top side is just super solid. I think this Vitality team is also a run-up for me. In the Lafayette tournament, they also showed that they're like what they can do, depending on the draw after groups. I could see them making it to, I think, semi-final. I don't want to put them. Wait, okay, I'm actually gonna do another row. Dark Horse. I think they're dark horse for me. Like, we haven't. The problem for me is in EC they played against two teams with substitutes. All right, they played against Nexus Reapers with two substitutes and with big drafting advantage, and they played against Solary with one substitute and big drafting advantage. Against Nexus Reapers, they just stomped over them. Against Solary, they struggled. I'm not sure if they're gonna be able to beat one of those teams in a best of 5 series with no issues, you know? That's kind of my problem. I don't know if they can do it, but if they can, I would not be surprised if they can do it. They showed that Serence is definitely weaker than them in the best of series, and I think in the best of 5 they will beat Serence and Nexus Reapers. Like, they are not in the Modern BO series tier. I think they have more to show in a best of series than those two, but against those 3 teams, it's gonna be hard for them, for sure. So yeah, I think that's gonna be my prediction for the LGC Rising. If you watch this on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'm also gonna be doing recaps of every week, probably coming out on Monday or Tuesday every week. I'm not sure yet, it depends on my schedule, when I need to work and shit like that. Thanks for watching, and see you next week for the recap of week 1. G2 Heal vs Serence, and Solari Academy vs Eterna, and Next Reapers vs Galleons, and Vitality vs SK. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and see you next week. Bye bye.